Kikubor ka Batesi TV. Lawan Rashapi ka Frank Motors, the all-new Altros. Now, with more exciting features. Ka any ride, ka app ban book taxi bat bike, ban pensuk ya ka let kawan katkum ka jingdon kam jongpi, namar bangi nyokor ya ka por jongpi. Download ya ka nika app na ka Play Store.
Ka IZ Group of Institution Bangalore, kadai ke college babhatam nagabenta ke jingpuli nursing but paramedical course, hospital training, hinyo scholarship but 6% ka kam, haki hospital bahedo India but shabari. Na benta ke jingpuli ke jingseo ka baret but hila ban legu ban puli da ke education loan. Hila ruban syukola hu number kandai nyo saw san riu pranot. Lani kandai pran riu license, riu kandai pra.
Hatu pikwa bagi janjong pikil kuit ha benar kam daka Oswell Soup hilaban yo na barok kidukan
Ka State Resource Center on Disability Affairs Civil Hospital Shillong haga arpunyo tarik unaitung arjar arpulai kala Ïohsngew daki hearing aids syaki laingut gibriu kum ka jingerap bagin yo biang ya ka bor Ïohsngew hagi skor daga ba penon kam daki tiar gibalasna kerpang Haga jing IT yagini ki hearing aids la sakhi lang daw menteri ka Srcda uba poleng do uba longkum kongsan harengkat ka jingedon lang jongka Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities ka SB Marak kabala longkum ka sembut kongsan ka kong Jermica Perbot kabadai ka audiologist and speech therapist Civil Hospital Shillong u Dr. Suman Kumar ubalong u Head of Department Speech Language Pathology Ka Additional Director of Health Services Civil Hospital Shillong ka Dr. Mrs. F.V. Karshiyeng bat kiway.
Sharum shaneng ipai patin no ya kiway endang iwatin rai hidaw ding arempay riba ipai bala kerkuplay panpeknya pangalong mensim jonga dislay tentang mensim shendrang makan shimet bangki intanya pa nak tersim kajingjot nak kami basinnya
Kiriu idri shisha, kirang kinsay ng jam. Buwan kinang kedop yan yang termay, kalay ng spa. Anda na surmalang, yakidos bay rupang. Jingya terkang kindi, nang rimban siya Riba ini paimay, riba lager kublay, bantanya panunong, mensim chunga kashlay. Daytang mensim shinrang, bangken shimen kini, kinaya pang, katersim kajingjan, nagamit basinnya.
The number of persons with a UDID card has come to 29,450, and the persons with a hearing impairment who has taken this card, who has availed this, has come to 5,162, which happens to be the third type of a category under this availing the UDID cards. Earlier, when we look at the 2011 census and the kind of a disabled card that was given to the persons with disabilities, it was quite a good number. We can see the hearing impaired went up to 12,353. Now that I have spoken about, the total number of cards issued under UDID is 5,162, of which we have the maximum coverage under East Khasi Hills with 1,171. The next comes Garo Hills with 1,055. With this new act called the Rights of Persons with Disability Act of 2013, a total of 21 types have been categorized. And as earlier, the earlier had only the 7 types that was brought under the act. And now with this, more types of disabilities getting expanded, getting included. And with the shortage of medical staffs that we have to, the specialist doctors, that they have to go for the assessment, it's quite a challenging task for all of us to make a coverage in the entire state. Whatever be, the resources are being pulled, especially for Garo Hills, as we can see the number of specialist doctors who are the authority designated people to give and sign the give the signatures on the UDID cards are very few. So very often we find it difficult for the assessment camps that are taking place, especially in the areas with the terrain, the interiors. However, these are being managed, and we have come up to this big number. I just would like to state, like, the state of Meghalaya stands second on all India basis, next to Nagaland, when it comes to the issue of UDID cards. I would also like to say, again, in order to avail any opportunities being given, it would be made compulsory also to have the UDID cards in hand for any disabled purpose, especially for the benchmark, to have the benchmark disability of 40%. Indeed, a privilege also to have with us a team from Ali Awarijang, who has been here for the second time to give away the hearing impaired assistive devices for the eligible ones. They have been here for the second time, and the state has been in collaboration with them for any other programs as well.
Most challenging disease in the world is not leprosy or cancer, but the fear of being left alone, the fear of being neglected. So today, I'm happy that we are all gathered here to ensure that we include and reach out to all persons, especially persons with disabilities. In fact, I'm thankful that Dr. Dylan has started off the proceedings by quoting from one of the poems that I wrote as a teenager. I actually forgotten those lines until I was reminded this afternoon. Although we have this major issue here of persons with hearing disabilities, we also have to acknowledge the fact that we also live in a world where we not only have hearing disabilities, but we have a major problem of listening disabilities. I have people who meet me in the office, a group of 5 or 6 persons, and everyone talking at the same time. I wish I had 4 more pairs of ears to hear all of them. We have become so immersed in and so in love with our own voices that we do not hear and listen anymore. We do hear, but we do not listen. So I do not know if you can have a separate department to deal with that major deficiency that we have today, the inability to listen. I do indulge in conversations on a daily basis, and notice that most of us have lost that ability to listen. We would only like to put our viewpoints across without listening to the counter viewpoint. And probably this will call for another session, another intervention. But I'm happy that today we are here to benefit and to reach out to those with the challenges of being hearing impaired. But again, let us also remind ourselves that with all disabilities, as the Commissioner had mentioned, there are 21 identified disabilities. But again, there is this saying that the greatest sailors in this world have always come out from the stormiest of seas. That's why we had somebody like Beethoven, who gradually lost his hearing but composed some of the best known pieces of classical music. It's something that have baffled me when I listen to Beethoven and think of this person with a gradual loss of hearing, composing such exquisite music. And therefore, it becomes a challenge to all of us who have all our senses and abilities intact to always feel grateful and express our gratitude to God by being His instruments while here on earth. I also read about this, one of the best orators on earth, Ïohsngew, was born in ancient Greece. He became one of the greatest orators of his time while having a major speech challenge. He was always struggling to articulate himself. So he would go down to the beach and collect pebbles, and he would then use those pebbles, juggle them in his mouth until his ability to speak could improve. And later on, whenever he spoke, the entire hall would turn silent and everybody would hear him. We have heard the beautiful piece of music rendered by our friends. Naikulehi Balok Rai to Bajilwai Kaba to Mat Sama Nangeki Ringa Jin Duna Ketumpi Hilalaman Bernikat tu Kat berkemau Hipi Badinilang Wah Kedua-kedua ke Kau play Penduk Nau priuk Kau iPad Atau kalian. Whenever somebody suffers from a deficiency that is physically noticeable, God always gives them something else in return. I do not know if you have heard or seen Tony Melendez. You can watch him on YouTube. Tony Melendez was born without arms, without his hands. And so he played the guitar using his feet. And he had Pope John Paul II in his audience. So, I would like to emphasize here that when you reach out to those with disabilities, do that not with a sense of treating them as people with less abilities or with disabilities, but more out of empathy, more out of compassion. Because we are living in a world that is running short of empathy, compassion, and love. Friends, I'm really happy to associate myself with today's program. I'm sure that the challenges are manifold, and yet it is our duty, it is our calling to try to address this issue and confronting it head-on by being proactively engaged in the pursuit of assuring the best possible healthcare that we can. As I enter civil hospital, I always remember that the antonym, the opposite of civil, is uncivil. So when you're in civil, please be civil. That is the minimum that is expected of you. More than providing or assuring cure to patients. It is the healing touch, a smile, the warmth in your tone that when I recently went to a dentist, I felt healed by just listening to her voice. She had not actually touched me, but when she spoke, I felt that half of the pain was already gone. So that is the kind of attitude we should adopt, encourage, and inculcate. Friends, once again, I thank you for having me in your midst. The government is committed to assuring the best of facilities to persons with disabilities, which is why today we have managed to also allocate a certain percentage of jobs in the state government for persons with disabilities, and which is why the Social Welfare Department is being revamped in a major way, and we need the full support of each one of you. We need you to be proactively engaged and always to remind ourselves, as I remind myself each day, of one line, one quote, which says, "Who you are is God's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to God."